Hello and welcome to the StrongCast, where it is our goal to help you perform without limitations. We chat with athletes, experts, and innovators to get their insights in optimizing the movement experience. I'm your host, Dr. Neil Toussaint. In episode 7 of the StrongCast, we had a great conversation with Mons, aka Corksson, and he's a tricking and parkour athlete that got his start in 2005. He has since become world-renowned, being one of the first to land triple Btwist amongst many other skills. We got into a talk about aging, his Btwist and Cork technique, what he thinks about when doing it, with some video analysis if you're watching this. We also got into the benefits of cross-training, tricking, and parkour, including how to improve your landings and control your landings. We really talked about improving lower extremity health, especially prevention of ACL injuries, what muscles to train and how to do that. So many other topics, including diet, exercise, training regimens, how it is to perform and coach. That's what he does for work, and so many other great takeaways that I think you guys will get out of this. So let's get right into it. Hey guys, Neil Toussaint with StrongCast. We're talking all things performance and longevity. I'm joined by Corksson. Hello, Cork. How's it going?
Hello. Thank you for having me on StrongCast this time. I hope I have something important to say to the audience.
You don't have to hope, man. It's all good.
Good.
So I
It's
think,
too bad we can't be with each other. Like, it would be better to do this in person, but everyone knows why it is like this.
yeah, couple reasons now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we will do it in person, and there's no worries, man. Like 1,000%. I hopefully really soon, hopefully within a year, we can
Yeah.
maybe even 6 months or so. That'd be tight.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But the first question I have for you is, why is your name Corksson? I think that's what everyone's wondering, you know?
Yeah. It's not so weird. It's my real name is Mons, and it's when it comes to the internet, it's hard to have the spelling right.
Mm,
Um, on forums and not on Facebook, but in emails and stuff.
yeah,
So it was easier to have something else as the name,
that makes
and
sense.
then it's easier to find me. It's easier to remember Corksson than remembering Mons. Uh, and that way it was. And also, when I started tricking, I didn't care about anything except the corks. I just want to do corks because I came from the parkour, and then I only want to do parkour, but I
Yeah.
also want to do corks, and then that way it travels. I went from parkour into corking, and then now I'm doing tricking.
What were you called when you were just doing parkour?
I don't remember. I don't think I had a name. Then I just used my
Your real
normal
name?
name, my real
Yeah,
name. Yeah.
nice. So when did you start doing parkour and tricking? Like, what's your timeline as far as all that?
So I started when I was 13 with parkour. That was like 2005.
Okay.
And then um, I think I did it or I still do it. So it's like just went from just doing parkour into more tricking over the years. But I think my first time saying that I did tricking was 2007. That's when I met Jesper and Leo and a lot of other guys that were training back in the days. Um, and we formed Task Tricking. Um, and that's how it started. And then went more and more into tricking, and I left parkour behind for a time. And then a few years ago, I started doing more parkour when the pandemic started. I
Mm,
couldn't train in gyms, so then I had like a whole summer where I just did parkour,
nice.
and
So,
now back to tricking.
right, cool. So, like, since you focus more on tricking, how do you win all these parkour competitions?
Oh,
Can you talk about like the parkour competitions and all that, and why you end up winning champion of Sweden and stuff like that?
yeah, but the first competition was in 2009, and it
That's
wasn't
when.
that serious. It was
Okay.
just for fun.
Yeah.
But we pissed a lot of people off because back then you weren't supposed to do competition in parkour. No, they
Mm.
were like parkour purists that was like, no, you only do it for yourself, nothing else, no glory, only to train to be strong and all that. Uh, and then I don't know if I have won so much more parkour competition. Only in Sweden, so it's not so much outside,
Right.
um, out of the country. And then like for the first like 5 years of training, like from 2005 to 2013, I don't think I won a single tricking competition or parkour, only the one in 2009, which
Mm.
was like more like a joke. And uh, then after 2013, I was only doing tricking, or like 90% tricking and 10% parkour. And that's when I won the first Swedish championship. And then it went on to winning more stuff after that.
Nice. And that
But
stuff was mainly tricking or parkour, or is more mainly tricking
mainly tricking,
with
mainly
some,
tricking.
but some parkour. You're still the best in
Yeah,
someone's eyes.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
dope. How do you feel like parkour has helped your tricking? Like, has it helped you at all, or?
yeah. It helps a lot. Like it doesn't help with flexibility, but I
Mm.
think it helps a lot with being getting strong because when you jump on like hard surfaces, so like if you're outside training on concrete every day,
Yeah.
you gotta get used to that. And when you go to tricking, where we train on the spring floor most of the time, it's so much softer. So uh, yeah, it's like training on something really soft, and you're used to falling on concrete. It makes you stronger and also used to uh, falling in a safer way. Because if you do the slightest um, misstep in on the concrete, you get really injured. But
Yeah.
yes, you get used to that.
Yeah, James West was saying the same thing. He was just like, and I can tell too. That's what I was telling him. I was like, dude, you can tell when people who do parkour fall in tricking
Yeah,
versus like other people because they just break the fall over like a longer period of time. Like even if it's not like
yeah,
a parkour roll, it's just like it just takes longer to fall, and then you guys usually hit the ground instead of letting the ground hit you.
yeah.
It's good.
Also, like when you land, even if it's not a roll, like all the landings you do it like you bend your legs and everything. You're like going down in a deep squat
Yeah.
usually when you land on a wall or something. So you just have that if something goes wrong. Uh, it's way better for the knees to not land with straight knees like when you go to tricking. But maybe it doesn't look that good when you do it in tricking, but it saves your body. And if you want to train until you're older, that's going to help a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I always see people like talking about like stomping tricks and stuff. And like that's good. Like there's a way to stomp tricks and not get hurt and stuff. But then there's like the basically straight legged and then you kind of
Yeah,
bounce out of it and it just yeah, it's not very good for your joints.
yeah.
But do you have any other background besides parkour before you started tricking? Like did you do anything
No,
else
that's
like
what I started with. And like I remember like first time I jumped over like a picnic table,
mhm.
I was just like so weak. I was like super skinny when I was like 13, so I was like nothing. It was only bones on me. There was no muscle at all.
Nice. Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. I mean, I've definitely gotten stronger doing all this stuff too, like tricking. Like I didn't do anything either beforehand, so it's crazy
Yeah,
how it can like really just shape your body and help you get stronger.
yeah. I
Do,
think that helps sometimes, when you have no background, you have to like work with smaller muscles and then your muscles like building up for it. Because
yeah,
if you have like a background in weightlifting, you're so strong, so you can throw your body around, but maybe you don't have the small muscle that like protects your ligaments and stuff like that. So then you can get injured because you're too strong.
No, you're
Or
absolutely right, actually, because like whenever you develop your muscles and everything, sometimes one type of muscle can lag behind the other, like the stabilizing muscles versus like the bigger like gym muscles. So a lot of times, just as you said, I mean, people will look very strong. They'll have all these muscles, but if they're not doing like functional kind of training, if they're only doing like machines and like things that are super linear, then your stabilizing muscles don't really have to do anything. So then they don't get developed. And then that's why you see like people that can look very strong, but when they go to do something like tricking, it ends up hurting them instantly, or just because they don't have the stability to handle it. Like it's a totally different type of strength, honestly.
yeah.
Like you need
What
your
would you
muscle.
say is the
Go ahead.
what would you say is the hardest part to train on your body if you're not doing tricking? So like, is it your knees that is harder to train stability for, or your feet, or your hip,
Mm.
shoulders? What would you say is the hardest part?
I would say it's all. I think it's pretty similar because you can basically do tricking without the tricks, right? Like you can do jump training, you can do like rotation and stuff like that, but it's not going to mimic exactly like the tricking, the forces that we place on our body in tricking. So it's not going to perfectly mimic it, but I wouldn't say one's harder or easier than the other, because like with RX and stuff, like we've just taken the tricks out of stuff and that's really it.
Yeah,
Like, so, I mean, if you make your training look like the tricks without the complexity of having to jump and spin and kick at the exact moment, but you just jump off one leg and you land similarly, then you can actually mimic it pretty well. But that last little bit of like you're rotating, you're spinning, and you're flipping, like that force, those angles are really hard to mimic. But yeah, I mean, I would say that it's not necessarily that hard to train for tricking outside of tricking. But I think that the hardest part maybe to train is the control. Like you can't train technique without actually tricking. Like, so you have
yeah.
to do like the best thing is maybe like trampoline or other surfaces, but it's really hard to mimic it without actually doing it. How do you prepare for tricks?
Oof. Yeah, like first step is trampoline into a resi or foam pit.
Mm-hmm.
So just trying to feel how it is in the air, like where to go up, how much to twist, where to kick, or whatever it can be. Just trampoline into resi where you can land however you want. That's like the first step. And then trying to do it from spring floor or air track uh, into like a resi or something where I actually can land the trick. Uh, I'm so scared of doing stuff on trampoline because I'm not used to it. It feels unsafe and like yes, gonna get me injured. So I'm trying to get away from the trampoline as fast as possible, and then get into like maybe air track into resi or floor to resi, and then when I feel ready, I go for it on the floor.
Nice. So you rarely do things from trampoline onto trampoline.
No, like never.
Even garden
It,
tramp, or is it like do you have like a big gymnastics trampoline, or
I have a gymnastic trampoline, and that's the only one I have. So I go
yeah.
from that and try to get away as soon as possible.
I feel you because
Yeah,
with the garden tramp, I'm cool. Like I don't care. I'll land on it. I just had a session yesterday at a trampoline park and it was one of those like tighter beds and that's cool. But they have like a super tramp in the back and
yeah,
it feels hard on your joints, honestly. Like the big ones, like the gymnastics trampolines, like
yeah.
they're really
But it's so
crazy.
much weight. Like you have to wait for it to bounce you back, and
Yeah.
I'm just not used to it.
And it's just not that similar to tricking with that huge bounce. Like you can train the in
Yeah,
air stuff, but the takeoff is completely different. Like completely
I
different.
agree,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. But honestly, like it's funny because it sounds like you have a really similar answer to me because as far as like how to prepare for tricking and how to get stronger before doing the tricks? Because you said the same thing. You were like, you do the different surfaces and then you get to the floor and then do that. And then the thing before
Yeah.
that for you, the strengthening was really just like parkour and calisthenic type stuff.
Yes.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of the same thing and it's really shown. Like, I mean, you've been tricking for how long now? Like,
Yeah. 15 years, I think. It's 15 years now.
yeah,
So yeah,
it's a lot.
it's a long time. Half my life.
Yeah, same. I wanted to make a sampler called Half-Life, but now it's past half my life, so I
Uh,
still can do it though.
yeah.
Like, how do you feel about age? Like, do you feel like that limits you at all, or
Uh,
how do you feel about your age and tricking? Because it's been you're 30 now, 30.
yeah, I turned 30 like in October last year.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say it's something that's just in my mind because you hear it from other people. Oh, 30, you become 30, you're so old, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And you hear that from everyone, and then of course it gets into your mind. But like when I really think about it, and I feel about how my body is, uh, I think it has some effect, but it's nothing that I really feel in the body. Of course, I get small injuries like a tired foot, and you get the short landing, when the toes go up.
Yeah.
So I get that all the time, but I think I get it less times now than when I started. So I think right now I'm at my peak. So from here,
Honestly.
it's just downward.
Well, how long do you want to trick to?
I
Are you
want to trick
thinking?
until 50.
Yeah. So like
Yeah, it would
when
be
you turn 50 and you're able to dub still, are you gonna stop?
probably not. It's hard to say. Like I want to trick for as long as possible. Like 60, if it's possible, in doing tornado when you're 60 or something like that. But one thing I have noticed with getting older is that the older I get, the more I have to train. Like when you started and was like 14, 15, you could train once a week and always get progress. And that's probably because you were new and there's so much to learn, but also that you're recovering so fast when you're young. But now that you're older, uh, you really have to like keep training all the time to stay fit and not get injured.
How often do you
Of course, you
trick?
can get injured anyway, but
No, of course, yeah. So how often do you trick per week usually, or
uh,
train at all, like anything?
I try to do it every day.
Okay.
But um, right now, I have moved to a small city, like 5 hours from south from Stockholm, and it's not warm enough to trick outside yet. And I work a lot, so it's hard to train. So I haven't really tricked for. I had one session in 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
So
Big change for you.
yeah, yeah, it's a big change. But I try to stay active and
You showed
do
me
a bit
that.
of work.
Sorry,
What?
you showed me that crazy clip of you doing like trips in the grass, like with
Oh
cold,
yeah,
wet grass.
yeah, it was super cold. It was only for like 20 minutes, but it was warm because I have started to do disc golf, if you know what that is,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
throwing frisbees into baskets. And so I did that before, so I got like a slightly warm up from that, and then I had to trick. But when you step on the grass with socks, it was just too cold, so I tricked for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so soon, maybe next week, I can trick 2 times a week or something.
It's gonna get
We'll
warmer.
see. Yeah, it's gonna get warmer.
So you don't, well, and that's probably where the parkour helps too. Like you don't mind training on cold, hard, wet grass. That probably helps, right? The parkour.
Yeah, it helps, but still sucks.
Yeah, it can't feel good. There's no way.
No.
So like, so what are you there for? I know you're there for work, right? Do you want to explain that a little
Yeah,
bit?
yeah. I'm doing performance. So I'm like on a theater, doing a bit of acting. Gonna do some corks on stage,
Nice.
jumping around. Yeah, it's just performance.
Cool,
Nothing
cool.
special.
So what else do you do besides that for work? Like, what do you normally do? Like, you coach, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing besides this. Um, I'm coaching all the time, like 4 times a week or something like that.
Nice.
And then I'm in the gym, so then I can train while I'm coaching, or train like have a real session before work, and then I start coaching after that. So
What do you
that's how
coach?
my no, not tricking, parkour. Tricking
Okay.
is, no one knows what it is. It won't get any students, so we say parkour. And then if someone gets good in the gym, we try to get them into tricking. Uh, then they're stuck.
That's super interesting. I totally thought that was like mainly a tricking gym. Like I know about like I know you guys do, teach parkour as well, but I just see a lot of people tricking in that gym, so I just figured.
Yeah, but everyone that's older is doing tricking. So like everyone you see, but all the kids we have, uh, they are just there for the parkour or jumping trampoline and stuff like that. So
How did you get so passionate about tricking, like, and movement in general, and just coaching and all that stuff? Like,
oh, I don't know. It just started as a little thing that I did. When you quit school, you just went out and do jumps and trying to learn new stuff, and uh, then just grow. And like I think I started when it was just a few hundred doing parkour in Sweden, and then we got everyone. Like I can see it now that people start with parkour and they get into tricking. That's how it works here in Sweden. And other countries has like you do martial arts and you get into tricking, but here it's parkour and then you get into tricking. Um, and then it just grows, and like I don't know, I just find everything else quite boring. So it's more fun to do tricking than doing anything else.
I feel you on that. Is there anything else you could like see yourself doing besides tricking, like I guess movement wise?
Not really, it's parkour
Yeah.
and tricking. That's the two things I want to do. But then like how if I look at other people when they get an injury and
Hmm.
can't trick, that's when they find something else to do. And maybe that happened to me in a few years. I get like, you know, tear the ACL or something, and then you
Stop
find
that.
something else to. I will. I'm gonna do my best to not to, but it's too many people I know have tear the ACL now. So uh, if it happens, it happens. But I'm gonna try to stay away from it.
Train your glutes.
Yeah. Is it the glute that fixed your or like protect your ACL?
Yeah, a lot of it is the glutes, your quads, your hamstrings, just everything around your knee is gonna help. That's
Yeah.
when a lot of people have ACL injuries when their knees come in, like when they
Hmm.
land and they pivot. So like I'll stand up. The perfect landing to do it is kind of like this. Like I don't know if you could see me with my black, but like this in.
Ah, okay, okay.
So like, and I was training at a gym in New York, maybe like a year or two ago, and it was pretty sad, honestly, because there was this girl, she was just training like double fulls and stuff, and then she landed like that, and she landed. She didn't even fall, she didn't stumble, but I just saw her knees come in really quick like that, and I was like, oh, and she was like, ah, it was bad, but
Oh,
that's kind of it doesn't take. It's not like it takes so much force; it just takes the angle. So, and
okay.
what prevents that is the glutes. A lot of times, like that angle of your knees coming in. Like, have you ever
Yeah.
seen those like side to side band walks, for example?
Yes, I know what
That
that is.
that is literally the opposite of that position, right? Because that position, like I'll get up again. Like the when you go like this, that's where your ligaments are at risk. But if you push your knees out, that's when they're a lot better position, and that is done by your glutes a lot of times, like pushing your knees out.
Ah,
And so that's why people do the band walks a lot. Like it just helps protect your hip, knee, ankle, stuff like that. So that's a really good exercise for that. and then just really getting really strong quads, which I'm sure you have already, but like maybe outside of tricking, like getting into different ranges of motion, because I think that's what really happens a lot too. Like if you look at swings, for example, like you're not using your full knee range of motion at all. You're just
Yeah.
really strong at that like top range, you know?
Yeah.
But then if you land and go below that range and then let your knee come in, that's when you're more at risk. So a way to prevent that is to strengthen your knee in different ranges of motion. So that's why like full depth, if your body can handle it, if you have good form and everything, but like full depth squats, full depth pistol squats, things like.
Yeah, I always do that.
Yeah, I
I'm
see you
trying
doing that a
to,
lot too, actually.
yeah.
Like, do you feel like that helps you at all? Like when you go to trick or do parkour? Like, do you feel like it's strengthening you?
I don't know. Yeah, like I can feel sometimes if I lift heavy, my
Yeah.
body gets used to like that extra push. Like if I'm not taking myself out fully, like just to lift something really heavy, like a few times, and then go to trick, I feel like I'm used to that. I have to use more force to get the lift, and then I can get better tricks. But I haven't really felt that in the long term. I haven't.
Gotcha.
But then I'm really bad at doing the physical training.
Yeah.
And like once every second week, I'm doing like pistol squats or squats with the rack. So
Sorry, how often you said?
every second week, it's like
Gotcha.
one training.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because a lot of times people say stuff that they just feel like works for them, and it's really true, and it's backed by science and everything. Like the first thing you said, lifting right before tricking, that does activate your muscles like neurologically. It like kind of turns them
Yeah.
on and forces them to be more explosive. So that's part of. I know we had talked like a week or two ago, like in DM, about like warming up, and
Yeah.
that's actually a benefit of warming up. Like if you do some strength exercises before tricks, it doesn't have to be like crazy hard or anything, but you just have to put a lot of tension into it. Like let's say you do a body weight squat, like that's not that hard, but if you really squeeze your glutes and quads and stuff, then it becomes like what we call the neural drive. Like your brain tells your muscles how hard to contract. And you can contract your muscles way harder than your brain will let you. Like your
Yeah.
brain is like the governor of your like body. So basically, if you lift some heavy stuff, or if you just squeeze really hard and just tense your body, you can tell the system to turn things on, and then you can do things a lot more
Okay.
quickly. Yeah, so that's like a good little hack that you figured out already. But like,
Yeah.
maybe not lift like to where you're fatigued, but just do a few lifts. Like I do that here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. When I lift like really heavy when I'm doing a real workout, then I just feel like really weak in my legs after. So I would never trick on those legs because then it feels like I can't control any landings or anything. It would just snap my knee and destroy it. So I'm
yeah,
trying to stay away from doing, if I'm doing a real workout, like tricking after, it's no go zone.
yeah. No, I completely agree. But yeah, for me, you were saying that you don't really notice, like it's hard for you to notice because you don't do it as often. But like for
Yeah.
me, when I stop doing the strengthening, I'm good for like maybe a few months or something like that. And when I say stop, I don't mean completely stop. I just mean like stop training like seriously, like in strength stuff. Like for a few months, I'm pretty good, and then I notice I start to feel it more in my joints after a little bit of time. So like, but what you're saying with every 2 weeks, it might be enough for you for now, just to
Yeah.
maintain strength. Like it doesn't take that much to maintain. It takes a lot more to build than to maintain. So maybe just keep doing what you're doing because you're doing trip dub and stuff.
Yeah. But I want trip and quad, so
I
I
know.
need to maybe get a little bit stronger. But
Yeah. Well, maybe where you're at right now is your training arc. Like, do they have weights over there?
yeah, no, they don't.
No?
Nothing,
Really?
nothing good. Or there probably is a gym I could pay for, but I'm really cheap and
Yeah.
I don't want to pay for stuff. So
You could do like body weight calisthenic stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I that's what I'm doing.
nice.
Also, like it's pretty physical to do the work I'm doing. It's like lots of jumping around and yeah, up and down. So I'm still staying fit, but
Makes sense. So let's move to talking about tricking a little bit more, like about technique. Like you're obviously really good at twisting. Is that just become natural or?
yeah, but like when I started, the only thing we had was like a tumbling and then a resi. So uh, yeah, I was training corks out to it and Btwist, and usually in the end of the training, I was just going for like dubs, even though I couldn't land. And this I did from the beginning.
Hmm.
So I was like, even though I couldn't land dubs, I was trying it out in the resi, and even though I just landed on my back, I was just trying to twist as much as possible.
Yeah.
And when I got dubs, like my first dubs, like the week after, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go for triples. I was trying triples. So I was just, and I still do the same, but a little bit different. Like when I get tired, I'm trying to train like um, standing triple B out in the resi, or like from trampoline, just twist as much as possible. So just like go nuts on the twisting, even though I don't never land on my feet. So I'm just trying to hold it as long as possible. So that's how I'm doing for the twists.
Nice, nice. Do you do anything outside of that? You just train the technique? Do you feel like,
Yeah, just
yeah,
train the technique. But then I have some training for the abs that I do sometimes. I'm doing like sit-ups and then those Russian twists. Uh, doing this with the legs. So I have like a few exercises that I do sometimes to get stronger core, but same thing there. I'm doing it not
yeah,
that often.
gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. What do you do for tech for cork, for example? Like, what do you think about when you're doing a cork?
Just a normal cork.
Yeah, like cork swing versus, let's say, triple cork, because those are different techniques. So let's talk about first, like, what you think about with cork swing, and then we can go to like a higher level skill.
Cork, yeah. So for cork swings, I'm just trying to get my body around as fast as possible. So I'm like getting the body up. So you know when you step into a cork, you have your chest up. I'm trying to get back to that position before I go for the next cork.
Mm.
You just fast cork around, uh, and that's about it. I'm just trying to fast around, like whip it and then twist, whip and twist.
Do you spot
Uh,
much? Is that an important part of it, the spotting, or not really?
no, I'm just looking over my shoulder, and when I see the floor again, I'm just opening up and then trying to do another one.
Nice.
Yeah, and for triple cork, I'm not so good at it, but instead of like whipping back, I'm trying to go in with a lot of force. So I'm just jumping into it or touchdown race, but suck at touchdown race. But I'm just trying to have a lot of force and then go straight up. So I'm just, instead of leaning backwards, I'm trying to have a lot of force. So when I jump up, the force from what I did before is going into the flip, and then I can twist them 3 times and land on my feet.
Nice. What's like the main tip that got you your first triple cork? Like you think that really helped?
Oof. I never got any tips. I just had to watch others.
Well,
I was
I
watching
mean,
stuff.
like something you realize, like technically.
Ah, I don't know. I just went for it. I went into the resi, just trying like brute force,
Yeah,
and was trying until I got it. I can't remember. It was like, I think now it's 10 years ago I did my first triple cork.
that's
I
crazy.
can't really remember what it was, but I just went for it every session, all the time.
Yeah, I mean, and I think your setup is really good for that because you're able to just go every session, just crash it a bunch because you have a resi. So that's
Yeah,
really good. So I definitely advise anyone listening to like use the different surfaces you have, and if you don't have any other surfaces, then just train the basics until you get there. Because personally, I didn't use the trampoline much, even though I had them, and I was just
yeah.
throwing triples on floor, and I landed it one day, which was nice. And what really helped me was like basically what you said, just going into it with a lot of force, but also I thought about flip a lot because Vivian really helped me learn about like using flip in the tricks, like using
Yeah.
that flipping momentum. So it's not about like cranking your head back with the trip, but it's about just like getting the force from the last trick, like the setup, like you just said, and that helps you
Yeah.
flip. And that helped me with it. What about Btwist? Like, what do you think about with that?
Uh, Triple B twist or like swings or both or
Both, yeah.
oof. Yeah, I don't know. Like B twist was it just came. It was like just one day it was there. Because this is also like so long ago. I just remember that we trained stuff and one day you could just do it and then it just got stuck. But triple B twist I had a huge problem with. So always when I tried it out on Resid, it was like I landed on my face. So it was and it was really like face first and then the body. So it was like dangerous to try on the floor. And it was like that for half year or something. And then I think I just stopped thinking about the
Flat
flat
spin.
spin.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just skipped that part and I went in like I was doing the B twist and with the triple B. So I just left. I went up earlier and instead of going around, I was just like an arrow straight forward and then twisting because if you run so fast as you need for the triple B, you're just going to do the flat spin anyway because you need so much force. And that worked for me. And then I landed on my feet and then back to the same thing, trying on the floor until it worked.
Nice, man. That's awesome. That's yeah. It's just a super safe process to learning tricks that I think that you know helps
Yeah.
you push as hard as you do still and just keep going. Like personally, I also feel fine. Like I'm 31. I feel fine. I
Yeah.
feel good. Obviously, I had like my previous knee injury and stuff, and it's I'm still dealing with that a little bit. Just getting confidence and getting like the strength fully back. Like a lot of people don't realize anything that's been injured in the past, it really takes like kind of a lot of work to get it back, especially depending on how long it's been since. Does that make sense? Like if you were out for like 3 months, it's gonna take a longer time than if you were only out for a week.
Yeah.
So I mean, I wasn't tricking for a while, and then I went on tour for a bit, so I wasn't
Yeah.
like training much, and so it's been a battle. But I'm getting a lot of stuff back too, which is really nice, and I'm trying to trick as long as possible as well.
Yeah. You
So
think you will get triple cork again?
yeah, yeah, I do.
Nice.
I really do. Tricks are feeling really good, really a lot easier, maybe than they ever have. Like I just did. I was training like swings last Friday, and I was just doing like gainer stuff, like gainers, corks, swinging dubs and stuff like that, and like it just felt. I was like, wait a minute, did I miss something? Like I was in
Yeah.
the air, and I was like, wait, did I not do something? Like it just felt so much easier, and I think it's just like based on like the training I'm doing outside of tricks right now, as well
Yeah.
as just training the tricks more often because I was focusing a lot more on the strength stuff for the past like year or so, and then now I'm starting to get more into tricking more often and then doing less strength stuff but still doing it. And so it's always like that. Like whenever you try to do everything at once, then your body breaks down. Like
Yeah.
if somebody tries to strength train and make a lot of progress and then also trick at the same time and make a lot of progress, it's just not going to work. Like you don't have enough days to recover.
Yeah. I get that a lot when every time I try to train more serious and get into like tricking exactly every day. And I do that for like a few weeks. So it's like 3 weeks of just tricking, maybe one rest day. Then I get sick after it, always. So I'm trying to have rest days like once a week at least, or yeah. So I'm trying to feel the body what it's capable of. Otherwise, I get sick, and then I'm back to this. Then I have to take 2 steps back, and I can only trick for the first weeks, like 3 times a week, and then 4, and then 5. So
Yeah.
trying to keep it easy or like in check, or what you think.
I know what you mean. Keep everything in line.
Yeah, yeah,
Like when I go to gatherings is when I mainly get sick, and it's for the same reason. It's just like so much stress on your body at once. No
yeah,
sleep, training for hours, eating worse than you normally do, all this stuff,
yeah.
like the traveling and all that. Like people don't realize the amount of toll that goes on your body with like a gathering. Like, or maybe
Yeah,
they do and they don't care, and then caffeine helps, but then you get sick or
yeah.
injured, and it kind of sucks. What are some injuries that you've had that are like high up on your list as far as it took you out for a while or was hard to come back from?
I had jumper's knee,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but it was just that one wasn't that dangerous. It was just resting, and it comes back even now. Now it's been like more than a year since I had it, but I know if I train really hard and only swings,
Yeah.
uh, then it comes back. Like a few years ago, I had it like I was going to the gym every day almost for like 2 months, just doing swings for like 2 hours, 3 hours. Then I got really bad. So I couldn't really even I couldn't even do gainer switch. It was just too bad. But just resting made it go away. Uh, and then I had my my back, my grandpa back. That one was really bad because it hurt. It didn't. It was like hurting all the time. I couldn't sleep, uh, and I couldn't even walk properly. I was like this. But then I looked it up. I went to a physio, and he said I was going to do some exercises, and then actually it went away after a week. But I had it for like a month or so.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Sounds
was
like a
lucky.
successful.
That
Sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, that's the only injuries I had. Like probably like sometimes you bruise your foot or uh, it's always small stuff, but I never had any major injury.
That's really dope, man. Like it's great. I might start
Yeah,
training parkour then.
yeah, do it. It helps.
Yeah. No, it'd be fun. When you come over, we'll do some parkour.
Yeah.
Do you? I know we've talked a lot about your strength and conditioning and like how you train it. Do you train mobility much? And if so, how often?
Nothing at all. I
Yeah,
think mobility for me is doing kicks.
yeah.
So when I do the kicks, I get the mobility.
Do you do
Uh,
basic kicks or do you do like you mean just when you're doing
Never basic.
combos? Just
Just straight into the 12s, you know?
I
That's
love
why it
it.
looks like it looks. It's maybe not the prettiest every time, but
It's
this is how it
there
works.
because you
It's
trained it.
there.
You will
Yeah.
land. That's amazing, dude. Yeah, so what do you do outside of strength and conditioning and stuff to stay healthy? Like, do you do anything outside of lifting or core work or anything to keep healthy in tricks, whether that be like eating a certain way, sleeping, hydration? Like, are there any like things you do that really help you, you think?
No. Or like just eat normal food. I cook all food at home.
Nice.
Uh, because you told me people are not doing that. And I think that's a big thing. If you just buy stuff at the grocery store and then cook it at home, it's way healthier than going anywhere else if it's not super expensive restaurant.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that's a good thing I do. And then I don't know,
You,
it's not so much more than that.
but that's
I,
it, it honestly doesn't have to be that much more than that because like you said, you didn't even know people we're not doing that. But in America, it's like
Yeah.
super common for us to just like go get fast food, and people don't cook at home, or if they do, it's like really fast processed stuff. And like you didn't even
Yeah.
understand that when I told you. You were like, "Wait,
Yeah.
what?"
I thought that was something you did when you were tired and like maybe once a month, maybe you can do that. But
Yeah.
uh, also, I think why I'm not injured, I'm not doing basics when I'm training, but because I've been a coach for so long, like my whole life, probably. So it's like I have to show basics every day for a couple of hours or every day that I work. So probably that keeps me into the basics in some way. So that helps me to stay like yeah healthy and not getting injured. So the basics are there, but I'm not having it as a routine for my training. It's more like
Yeah.
it happens all the time.
Right. And I think that like it's just good that you're doing stuff mostly daily. You know, obviously you're taking your rest days, but just
Yeah,
moving more often is really good, just for the body in general. Like you don't have to do. I mean, again, my podcast with James West, he was talking about dailies, and I think that that's really valuable. Just doing something every day that's movement based that helps you go towards your goals. Whether that's again strength, mobility, whether it's just doing some basic tricks or anything, or parkour, anything that like you're moving your body, it just doesn't become, because like if you don't move for a few however much time, it's just going to vary depending on each person, but we tend to get stiff, and we just don't
yeah,
move as well. Our body kind of forgets how to move as precisely. Like we lose like I know when I take a break or anything like that, the first thing that I notice is like my swing timing is not good anymore. Like the
mm,
timing for the swings, it's not the strength or anything. Like I can still like, maybe I'll just be able to dub very easily, but as far as like the swing timing, like maybe a 0-1 will be like all messed up, but I can still dub because it doesn't take as much timing. So like I
yeah.
notice that like if I don't move a lot, then that goes first. Like do you notice that, or what do you think when you take a break? Like that goes
Uh,
first?
like last time I had a break, it was lockdown or like lockdown here in Sweden, but I couldn't go to the gym.
Mhm.
So I was like, and I had been training for like, yeah, a couple of months, really intense. I was like, yeah, free time. It's not so bad this time. It's like I can sit home and play video games. And
Yeah.
but the gym was closed for like 3 weeks,
Yeah.
and after 3 days of just playing Mario because the new Mario game was out, or the old Mario games for the Switch, whatever. So after 3 days, I just got back pain, um, and I just got like really lazy and felt like my whole body was just destroyed. And it was at the same time you did 100 pistol squats a day for 100 days.
Yeah, I did
So
that.
I just went from training intense, 3 days of nothing, and then I started doing 100 pistol squats. So I was super sore the day after. I couldn't walk or anything. And
Yeah.
then I did it again like 2 days later. So I did like 100 pistol squats like each day for like until the gym opened.
Nice. Oh man, yeah, that was a crazy challenge. You know, for those of you guys listening who don't know what he's talking about, it was what, like 2 years ago now? It's like a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just, me and a few friends. Shout out to Justin, Trisha, Jess. Who else? There were a few others, but we were just doing 100 pistol squats on each leg every day, and also a hundred single leg calf raises every day on each leg. And we were able to break it up, and we were also able to do, like, if we couldn't do the regular pistol squat, we could do like the I'll get up again and show you. Like either the pistol, which you guys know how that looks, or if you were getting too tired, you can just do like this. But I never really did that version. I just did the pistol mainly, and honestly, I felt like it really helped. Just obviously, I got stronger,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't really recommend it. It's just so
It's a
much
bit
on your
much.
body. Yeah, it's a lot on your body. But
And
like
you
I
were
said,
trying to trick at the same time, right? So you
no,
did this. Oh, okay.
barely. I had a couple sessions, but like I knew that that was a time where I wasn't really going to be able to trick too much. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I had like maybe, I don't know. I didn't have very many sessions at all during that time because I knew that was a time where I was trying to like, I was doing it mainly for rehab and stuff. And I was doing it to just, get some movement, really train my knees, really train my ankles. Oh, that was another huge thing that I got from that challenge. Like, yes, I was sore and everything, but I honestly didn't feel like any bad effects from it, like personally. But again, like I said, I don't really recommend it because, I've been working out for like, I don't know, 15 years or so and doing that kind of movement for a while. So it's a little bit more natural for me to do it. But I wouldn't just throw somebody into doing that. But a thing that I didn't really expect is, like you were saying earlier with the short landings with your ankle, like I get that too from time to time, not too often, like literally exactly how you were saying. But sometimes I feel it's like stiff. And after
Yeah.
that challenge, like it just completely went away for months. Like I never felt
Hmm.
anything at all, like in my ankle. So just doing the pistols every day really got a lot more dorsiflexion range of motion in my ankle. And yeah, it just went away. Since it's come back a little bit, but then maybe I have to do another 100. But I don't think you have to do that many. But the point is that pistol squats can really help with your ankle mobility too. So if anyone's struggling with that, and you can try it too, like for that ankle that you're talking about, you land short on, like just
Yeah.
maybe like 20 a day or something, not 100.
Yeah. I'm gonna start doing that now, and that I know that it helps with the.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like I know from, just being a physical therapist that would help. Like it made sense after it happened, but before that I wasn't expecting that at all. I was just doing it
Yeah.
like, oh, my quads are going to get stronger. And I was like, wait a minute. My ankle pain is like completely doesn't exist at all. So,
Yeah.
yeah, give it a shot. And you can also do it assisted too. You could do it like with rings or
Yeah.
something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like just holding on to
Yeah.
something or a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can do it on a rail if you want it harder.
Yeah. Did you? I feel like you did that in that. You did that in a video. I saw you doing that. That was crazy.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's how we did it when I did parkour. When I was starting, like the older guys was, yeah, try to do it on the wall or like a rail or something. It was like a challenge we did.
Nice.
But then I could only do like 5 on each leg.
I mean, that's pretty good. A lot of people can't do a full pistol squat at all, so doing it on a railing is pretty crazy. I did it on a
Yeah,
slack line recently. That was so hard. Like
you gotta try that.
so hard, man. But it was cool. And actually it had like there was like an airbag under it. It was at the trampoline park, so it was like
Yeah,
super safe. It's like the best place to learn slackline. I might start doing flips and seeing if I can just do them off the slack line and just play around with that because
yeah.
there's like a resi. It's softer than a resi under it, so why not? Do you just last few things real quick? Do you have any tips for your older self when you first started training? Like if you wanted to give yourself advice when you first started, what would you
Oof.
tell? What would you tell young
Stretch
Cork?
more.
Stretch more.
Stretch more. Become more flexible. Your kicks will look better. But it doesn't matter because I know I wouldn't listen. People told me to stretch, but I never listened. So I don't know if it will help.
Do you think you're gonna start soon?
Mm, I I stretch sometimes, but I need to do it like after every session. But if you have 10 minutes to go, you rather trick 10 more minutes if you have the energy than start stretching. Um,
I'm not gonna lie, I do the same thing.
yeah,
I
and
stretch when I
I
get
I
home though.
always I always tell myself I'm gonna do it when I come home, but then you gotta eat, and then it's probably pretty late, so you go to bed and sleep, and then you forget about it until the next session, and you repeat the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of, you definitely have to make a routine if you do it after the session. Like for me, I'll, like you said, come home, eat,
Yeah,
maybe I'll do some work, play some video games maybe, and then like at the end of the day, I will listen to a podcast and I'll
yeah,
stretch in this room for a bit. It helps have space to do it too, of course. But yeah,
yeah. I live really small now, so it's no room to stretch.
yeah.
That's a big problem. Not a big problem, but it's a good excuse, you know.
Stretch with the kids. Stretch with the kids while you're coaching.
Yeah, they don't want to.
Yeah, it's difficult, man. It's difficult to find the proper balance of all that stuff. But like once you find a place for it in your day, it becomes a lot
Yeah.
easier. But what about crypto?
Crypto. You
Yeah,
want to talk about crypto?
I do, I
Goes
do.
like shit. I lost like 30 grand in dollars this year.
Yeah. What got you to crypto so much, and how do you think it's gonna go?
Mm, I don't know. It started with the pandemic came, and then the crash of the market went down, and then my friend told me like, yeah, but this is the time to invest. You have to invest, man. So I invested some money, and then another friend told me, but if you want to earn money, you gotta invest more. So like 10% on 100 crowns is only 10 crowns.
Yeah.
So you have to invest 100,000. And I was like, 100? And it's a lot of money. But I put in a little bit from every salary and just went up. And then I never found anything that was like, because it goes too slow, the market, the stock market goes too slow. And I thought, this is going too slow. I hate this. I'm not getting rich fast enough. And I found crypto. And then everyone was like, not crypto. It will fuck all your money. It will take away all your money. You will lose everything. But I was like, I have already lost everything. I have nothing to win. So I just put everything on crypto. And it went up for a year. And then it crashed.
But you're still up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm still up.
Okay,
So I'm good.
that's good. Because you got in so early.
Yeah. Like 1.5 years ago, I got it.
So what would you
So
say for people who want to get in now?
I don't know. Do
This
your
is
own
not an,
research.
this is not financial advice.
Yeah, this is not financial advice, but buy now. Get rich.
Yeah, me and Mons talk a lot about crypto and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I, you're a brave man.
I don't know. Or stupid. If I get rich, I was a genius. If I lose everything, everyone's gonna call me stupid. So we will see what happens.
You
Call me
only
back in
lose
5 years.
you only lose when you take out
Yeah.
hold forever.
uh,
Oh man.
no.
All right. So, where can people find you if they want to see more of your amazing content? I know your Instagram handle keeps changing. So,
Yes. So just search for Corksson and you will find me because my name is always something and then Corksson. Just Corksson and you will find me.
at the time of this recording, his name is
It's Goat.
goat.corkson.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and change it right now.
All right. Well, maybe that'll give me time to edit and put the real one down there. But
Yeah.
anywhere else? I know you have YouTube as well.
I think it's Corksson there as well. So everywhere you can find me, it's Corksson.
Perfect. All right, man. Thank you so much for this talk. I think
Yeah.
people will get a lot out of it, especially the technique and all that stuff and the training regimen and the way you train is just really intelligent. So thanks, man.
Thank you for having me.